Hey, day campers. Sam and I had the honor and pleasure of being part of Hill Day 2026 with our American Camp Association colleagues. And since last year's episode was one of the most listened to episodes of the season, we figured we'd record a shorty for you, a recap of what we spoke about with the congressional offices and how it was received. I'm saving you the trip again, my friends, but next year you should go. This is the Day Camp Pod.
This is the Day Camp Pod from Go Camp Pro, bringing you the best ideas, strategies, and discussions in the day camp industry. You can find our show notes at daycamppodcast.com.
The Day Camp Podcast is brought to you by CRS, Commercial Recreation Specialist, go-to source for recreation solutions that will ensure that your camp thrives. Explore their website today at CRS or Rec. CRS is very fun. Let me tell you about CampMinder, the #1 camp database in the world. It has the most robust offerings of services found anywhere. Every feature works together to create a policy system that helps your camp office run more efficiently while giving your camp families state-of-the-art communication and financial. Check out the details at campminder.com.
AM Skyer is the leading insurance and strategic partner for many of the finest camps in America. AM Skyer partners with camps to provide public relations, legal, medical, behavioral support, and more. Experience the AM Skyer difference. Learn more at amskyer.com. Welcome back to the Day Camp Podcast. I'm Andy Pritikin, director of Liberty Lake in the Philly burbs of New Jersey. And I was supposed to be with Sam, and we recorded something, and it didn't take. So anyway, Sam is off being a grandma right now, and Jordana is doing a retreat with her leadership team. So it's just lonely old me. And I am here to talk about Hill Day 2026 in Washington, D.C. that I just got back from, which is an inspiring, amazing experience that I invite you all to go to. But let me tell you a little bit about it. I went with my son, Justin. We drove down, and there was about 100 other camp professionals there from all parts of the United States, and not just camp directors. There was also people from IENA and camp leaders and some of the international staffing services because of the J-1 visa thing. There were people tangentially linked to camps, but certainly most were camp folks, and of course you had people that are very involved in the government affairs, like my friend Mike Stinson from California and all. And this is all put together by our friend Scott Brody and my partner up at Everwood Day Camp. So Scott has been involved in the legislative stuff for a while now. He actually even has an apartment down in Washington, D.C., where he spends part of the year advocating for us, for the camp industry. And he and Andy Schlensky, who's part of the legislative stuff with ACA National, and they get a lot of support from ACA National, from Henry DeHart, the CEO, and from Michelle in the office there. And they have linked up with a couple of advocacy groups. That's the nice way of saying lobbyists. And the Bose Advocacy Group is the one that helps put this together for us, making the connections, reaching out so that when we get down there, we have a full slate of appointments that we go to. And it's all laid out, and it's on an app, and it's on WhatsApp. It's really, really great. This year, I got down there and was surprised that my entire day was filled up, basically from 8 in the morning until 4:30 in the afternoon. I just went from thing to thing. As a matter of fact, I couldn't even go to everything that was on my schedule because I have 2 legs and I can't transport myself. But the New Jersey group was not that strong, I have to say, my New Jersey friends. I need some help next year, please. It was basically myself and Bruce Skaversky from the Girl Scouts of South Jersey, and Jacqueline McDonough, who runs a camp called Camp Jameson, an unbelievable camp, which is an overnight camp up near the Pennsylvania-New York border right now. They rent the property, and it takes inner city kids from New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania out into the woods, mostly black and brown kids, and mostly kids from Philly. And they actually have a relationship now with the city of Philadelphia Board of Education, and they're going to get 75 kids from there. And Jacqueline just does unbelievable work. I implore you all to find the Camp Jameson TikTok, because it's just killer. Seeing like these city folk in the woods, like whooping it up and having a blast and just turning it into the most campy thing. It's really awesome. I met some really, really great people from all over the country. I mean, honestly, even if we weren't advocating, just to be a part of this and be a part of this all-star team that assembles is just so wonderful. I met a guy named Joe Alarcon. He runs a sleepaway camp now called Cedar Canyon in Texas. Just one of the most amazing humans you'll ever meet. Had a tragedy happen with his son at a camp and turned it around and is just making the most amazing lemonade out of the worst kind of lemons by running a camp himself. And he was out there advocating for camp. And all this is going on while hearings are taking place about the tragedy that happened in Texas this summer. And we're all watching that. And of course, that's, it's an interesting subject about camp safety. And that is something that the legislators do want to talk about. So you better get good at talking about it, friends. But anyway, when we get down there, one of the big things we do is we talk about the impact of summer camp, because most people don't understand the impact. When I say the impact, I don't just mean the societal impact, which is huge. I mean the financial impact as well. And just the amount of kids that go to camp. We had University of Utah did a great research project a year or so ago, and they found that there's 26 million campers that go to camp annually in the United States. Sorry, Canada, I don't have your stats, but 26 million out of 52 million, basically. So about half the kids in America go to some sort of summer camp. And remember, when we talk summer camp, it doesn't mean that perfect looking camp, on the hill in the mountains, right? Because remember, Sam and I went to ACA National, and out of the 78 folks that were at the day camp roundtable, 71 of them were from non-traditional camps, right? In all different kinds of settings and nonprofits and all those kind of things. That is what most camps are out there. Nonprofits, non-traditional kind of camps. So 26 million kids, and we employ in summer camps in the United States almost 1 million staff annually, right? So think about that, right? There's 20,000 camps across the United States, and we play a huge impact, right, in supervising kids and teaching them life skills and such. But the financial impact is really, really big. The United States camp industry contributes $70 billion to the national economy, right? We got 1 million workers, remember, right? And that's 23 million in labor income that we produce. Right? Overnight camps do an amazing job, in these rural areas, in these areas up in the mountains where there's nothing really happening. They're providing huge income to those folks. But, going back to the non-money stuff, we are providing major childcare, all right? Major childcare. And one of the things that I intend to be working on in September with the federal and state legislators is getting some of that federal money that's set aside for child support, getting that to camps. Because right now, speaking for New Jersey, we get lots of money to help support kids for childcare, but the red tape that camps have to go through makes it prohibitive, right? The fingerprinting and 10-hour online courses that we'd have to pay for and all this kind of stuff, like the tens of thousands of dollars that we would have to put out, it might not even equate to the revenue that we get. So I got to work our way through that, and I intend to in September.
The Day Camp podcast is brought to you by CRS, Commercial Recreation Specialists, your go-to resource for the latest programming and recreation solutions to help your campers thrive. Check out the all-new Water Tag, where campers suit up in special vests and blast away with high-powered water launchers for the ultimate splash battle. Rev up the fun with new Pump Tracks, a modular, easy-to-install bike course that brings the need for speed to any camp setting. And when it's time to cool down, FLX Shade delivers stylish, innovative shade with maximum coverage and minimal impact on your site. CRS also offers prefabricated cabins, pavilions, and restroom buildings. Everything you need to create a better camper experience. For more info, visit crsforrec.com. That's CRS, the number 4, REC.com. CRS is serious about fun. You are a leader of your camp and a pillar in your community. When your customers put tremendous trust in you, CampMinder's powerful management tool delivers the day-to-day task support that helps you make every moment memorable and every summer stellar. With 20-plus camp-specific tools in one, CampMinder's user-friendly platform is backed by a full team of engineers who are constantly thinking of ways to help your camp stand the test of time. Visit them today at campminder.com.
So anyway, we're talking about, really critical contributors to college and career readiness. And I'm telling you this because you guys need to put this language into your mouths and into your publications and onto your websites. For we're not just talking to your potential camp parents and your current camp parents, but to your local legislators, your town, county, and state, and of course, even federal legislators, right? We help our campers and staff build critical thinking and problem-solving skills, become better teammates and leaders, and increase self-awareness, grit, and motivation. That is not hyperbole. That is what we do, and we have to start talking that way because, friends, we are in the land of AI, right? I went to a session at the CODA conference with Matt Kaufman where he was talking about, how just AI just in camps is unbelievable what some people are doing. But we know what AI is doing in the world, right? And basically, robots are going to do any job they can possibly do, period. Okay, and that's going to take out a lot of jobs for humans. So what are the jobs that are going to be left for humans? It's going to be the jobs that require collaboration and creativity, right? And the kind of human skills that we teach at camp. Okay, so camps provide opportunities for youth to unplug and spend time away from technology while learning responsibility and duty to others. Camps help children form stronger connections with their faith while becoming better friends to others and stewards to our nation's resources and to just Mother Nature, right? Camps serve children with special needs, providing critical support for families and skill building for kids. Certainly, we do a lot of that here at Liberty Lake. And we provide support for working families, right? We strengthen our nation's businesses and communities by providing that childcare. All right. We're an essential component to the economic prosperity to our country. And we prepare our children to thrive in this rapidly changing world that we're in. And these talking points are going to go up into the show notes. This is from the American Camp Association. Okay. And the American Camp Association created talking points and economic impact numbers for every single state. So if you're Mississippi, you're Louisiana, you're Oregon, whatever, you have your own 2-page thing that just talks about your state and the economic impact that you guys do for your state. And it is substantial. It really is. So that's the impact. Another talking point, the big talking point for us is that in 2017, the American Camp Association was instrumental in pushing through something called the CPIA, the Child Protection Improvements Act. This allows youth-serving organizations like ours to access FBI criminal history records, okay? This fills in a gap in state-level checks tremendously. For all of you guys that have to do background checks and such, and by the way, there's 20 states that don't even require it, which is scary. This would be something that camps can do what public schools do when they're hiring teachers, which have access to a nationwide FBI criminal history. And that would just help tremendously, right? Liberty Lake is located 5 miles from the Pennsylvania border, yet I don't have to check backgrounds for Pennsylvania. I just do it for New Jersey. That's the rule. That is stupid, right? I need a national thing, right? Sleepaway camps hire people from all over the country, if not all over the world. It's exceedingly difficult for them. But even for day camps, most day camps are hiring people from more than one state, plain and simple. And even with that, there's like 5 different things that we have to do in New Jersey, background check wise. Each one's 10, 15, 20 bucks, and it adds up. If we got this other thing to go through, we would just have to do this one for the most part, I think, and then if you're on this certain list for being a child abuser, that's probably a separate one. But this would take care of the bulk of our background checks, and it would be one-stop shop, right? So we want this to take place. It did take place. It got signed off, and it's been stuck in the mud of the judiciary system. It's really the Department of Justice that has to sign off on it for whatever reasons, and red tape, they haven't. So we're trying to get these legislators to push this through. And actually, one of the camps was explaining this in one of the legislative offices, and the congressman said, "Oh, I'm going to call cash right now." Take place. Can you imagine? Oh gosh, we're in a crazy world. All right, so then we spoke about the J-1 visa stuff. For those of you, there are day camps out there. We've spoken on the podcast to the folks at Breezemont and Ramacoy and Willow Lake. We know that do this, and they house them at local colleges and such. It's a great thing to be able to do. But now a lot of people aren't able to come over because they can't even get a visa appointment because the current Trump administration has slowed this down because we are an unintended consequence of the whole anti-immigration thing that's happening right now. So it sucks. So we're trying to move the needle on that. The woman that we were with, Stevie from IENA, she was telling us a story about a special needs camp that can't even open this summer because they rely so heavily on international staff and they just can't do it. It really sucks. And then, this is not going to be a long podcast, folks, but another big one I wanted to touch on was the Camp Caucus. So as I've talked about in prior episodes, when we go into these congressional offices, right? So I get this long list, right? So I'm going into this office for Herb Conaway, right? Representative from New Jersey. And I go in there and I meet not with Herb Conaway most of the time. Sometimes you're lucky and we get them, but most of the time you're meeting with their staffers who are these exceptional young people in their 20s or early 30s, right? So you go in there and you meet this person, and 98% of the time they went to camp, right? Why? Because we grow leaders at camp. It's phenomenal. For over 100 years, summer camps have been an integral part of the AM Skyer world. Today, AM Skyer is a strategic partner for summer camps across the country, building personal relationships and providing valuable resources to their clients and friends. Every day, AM Skyer is proud to support camps and help make them safer. AM Skyer was founded by Abe Skyer in 1920 and is now in the third generation of Skyer family leadership. Henry, Jeffrey, Amy, and the experienced AM Skyer staff eat, sleep, and breathe summer camp, in addition to fostering partnerships with camps that last for decades. Give AM Skyer the opportunity to find solutions for your most challenging insurance needs. They go above and beyond. Trust me, I know. Learn more at amskyer.com. So these young people, they're so happy to see us because they're like, camp people, wow, brighten our day, because we just had the tobacco industry or the chemical industry in here or whatever, and they're not as exciting. So they love seeing us. We are there to tell them camp stories, and they end up telling us camp stories. So, and a lot of the actual congressmen went to camp as well. So Scott Brody came up with this idea. We're going to start a camp caucus, bipartisan, one for the House, one for the Senate. And we've already got a bunch of congressmen who have signed up for it. It's easy. They just got to sign up for it. They don't have to be in charge of it. We have two people that are in charge of it. Let's see. It's spearheaded by Representatives Chris Pappas and Chuck Edwards. They're actually the chairs of this Camp Caucus. So yeah, we're getting people to sign up for it left and right. And my big idea I'm trying to push ACA to do is to come up with a Camp Caucus for the legislative aides, because they are the future congressmen and congresswomen of this country. And some of them are diehard camp people. Man, this guy Marshall from Andy Kim's office, he was a program director at Camp Sitta Boy Scout camp in New Jersey, right? This other guy we met, Owen, from Rob Bresnahan's office, PA guy. Owen went to Camp Beckett his whole life, worked there, has his best memories of his life. He would have talked about Camp Beckett for an hour if we let him, but we had appointments to get to, so we had to keep moving. But anyway, Owen is our man, and we're trying to keep these people involved. So anyway, before I leave, big reminder as we approach the camp season, it's so easy for you to invite your state and federal representatives to come to your camp and visit this summer. Find the folks who are the actual representatives of where your camp is, not where you live, where your camp is, okay? And get them to come out and get on the zip line to play with the kids, play some pickleball with the kids. It is the greatest photo ops that they'll ever have. And it's easy, easy, easy. And a lot of the times these people are home in the summer, right? They're out. They have summer vacation too, these congressmen, it seems like. So get them to come over, invite them. You go to their website, you fill out a form. It takes 5 minutes, people. 5 minutes, okay? Invite them, get in touch with their office, invite them over, bug them, all right? It's easy, costs you nothing. These people work for you, all right? And what are they trying to do besides make the world a better place? They're trying to get reelected. And there's no better way to do it than have pictures of kids at your camp, okay? So you can say that in whatever ways you want to for them. You can go and find pictures of on ACA of congressmen, or just email me and I'll send you some when they come and visit me. And it is really a great thing. So yeah, make that happen. And like I said at the beginning of this pod, you got to come to Washington, folks. I know it's not at the most convenient time at the end of April, but it is the most energizing thing. And, we sit back and we watch this shitty ass news all the time with all this horrible stuff happening. And you just sit there and you feel like a victim, right? You feel like, oh man, there's nothing I can do, right? And then you go down to Washington, D.C., and you meet these people who are just like you, okay? And who these people in Washington, D.C., they look at us and they go, wow, you guys are really doing an amazing job of what you do. They are in awe of us and they want to help us. They look at us in the eyes and they say, what can we do to help you, right? And then they take notes. And then some of it actually even gets done because we got people like Scott Brody down there that are actually making it happen. All right. And of course, for day camps, it's even more important to do this at the state level, 100%. But there are lots of federal things that have implications, like this CPIA thing. If we can get that happen, that would help our background checks so much, and it would make your camp families feel a lot better. And it should make you feel a lot better too, right? And if we can get this thing happening with the childcare grants down to your local levels, man, that would make a whole lot of underserved families in your neighborhoods a heck of a lot happier to be able to use those monies for your camp. All right. So anyway, come to the next Hill Day, right? Some states have 0 representatives, 0. Right? There's states that have nobody is visiting them for summer camp. And then there's camps like California that have 30. But even in New Jersey, I told you, New Jersey, a very, very populated state. It was me and my son and the Girl Scout guy, right? We were the only camps in Jersey that were representative, right? Which is sort of sad. So anyway, come on down, folks. All right. And I think this is going to wrap it up for the Day Camp podcast for this summer season. For up and through the summer, at least. We'll start up again in the fall, in September. It's been a great run. I appreciate everybody. This was our 7th year, right? We have over 200 episodes online. I had a young lady reach out to me. She's graduating college, and she's like, yeah, I want to get into the camp industry. Where do I start? And I said, well, episode 1 of the Day Camp Pod. Go for it. Start listening to them. Got lots of great thoughts, lots of great thinkers that have been a part of this. So I thank you guys all for listening. I want to thank my hosts, Sam Thompson, the award-winning Sam Thompson, and Jordana Grosinger. This was her first full season on this. I think she's the best on this. I think she could just take it over. That would be awesome. My allergies are kicking in, excuse me. I want to thank the Go Camp Pro team, Travis, the podfather himself, Matt Wilfred, who has helped really. He's so instrumental. He's like the executive producer of the whole Go Camp Pro podcast team. And our editor, Rachel, up in Canada, did a bang-up job of staying on top of things. We really appreciate it. And, Rachel gets paid to do work, right? And she wouldn't get paid to do it, and you wouldn't be getting these podcasts, and we wouldn't be able to be on those platforms if it wasn't for the monies from our amazing sponsors, AM Skyer, right? My insurance company, the preeminent insurance company in the United States for summer camps. Check them out. They are the best. Campminder, the preeminent database company. I was texting Dan last night. There's so many things that they have coming down the pike, including AI reports. It's going to be sweet. Can't wait for it to happen. He also promised me individual texting coming soon. All right. So let Dan know that. I said it on the podcast. Camptivities, our friend Ryan Rosen, a day camp guy himself, and he put out his his attendance program as well. There's an episode of that in our feed. And last but not least, commercial recreation specialists. They are the middlemen that find the cool stuff for our camps. One of the big things that we saw at Tri-State this year, they have fans, water fans. Hey, it's hot, global warming. We've got to keep the kids cool. They now have fans, commercial grade fans, blowing the water through. You could set them up anywhere with a hose, or you could fill up the big tank and let it go. It doesn't even have to be near a hose. So check out commercial recreation specialists. Check out the show notes and our other episodes at daycamppodcast.com, as well as contact info for our guests and for myself and Sam and Jordana. Thanks for listening and making yourself a better Day Camp Pro. We'll be back in a couple of months with another new episode of the Day Camp Pod. Any ideas for next year, topics, shoot them my way. Andy at libertylakedaycamp.com. Love y'all. Take care. Have a great summer. All right? There's only one thing that you can do this summer that is going to make the world a better place, and that is have a great summer. Do everything you can. Put your heart into it, okay? Inspire your staff, all right? I want to hear all about it in the fall. Bye.
The Day Camp Podcast is brought to you by Go Camp Pro and the Go Camp Pro Podcast Network. Find a podcast for camp professionals of every age and stage at gocamp.pro/podcast. Thanks for listening, friends. Hey, Camp Pros, we love that our industry is built on sharing. In order to foster that spirit, we hope that whenever you share an idea that you learned from the Camp Hacker podcast, conference, summer camp professionals group, or wherever else, that you're quick to give credit where credit is due. That way, we can all encourage more camp pros to share the tips and tricks that will make camp better.